Good morning, everyone. We're into the second week of Easter already. Yeah, it's true. Just now we were preparing for it, and here we are. It's come and gone. Easter eggs are nearly gone. No, not Easter eggs are not nearly gone. But so be it. Time flies. We find in our readings of this week two things. Number one, the Acts of the Apostles replaces the Old Testament readings. So whereas we would normally have had an Old Testament reading initially, the Acts of the Apostles are there. And that's quite important because obviously this is the beginning times of the new church. And so it's interesting for us to find out exactly what was going on in the lives of the apostles at that time. The second thing is that the gospel that we read this week, the Gospel of John, chapter 3, is broken up into a number of different stages where Jesus is having a dialogue with Nicodemus, who was actually a Pharisee. And so Pharisees, as we know, were people who were quite pedantic and more concerned about the law of the church. And so it was interesting that Nicodemus was one of those guys who showed an interest. He probably would have been chucked out otherwise, but anyway. So in our discussion today, verses 1 to 8 of chapter 3 of John's Gospel, Jesus says to Nicodemus, "You must be born from above." And essentially saying, look, it's not just the birth that you have on this earth, but that you're born through the Spirit. You're born in such a way that God has a great influence in your life. Now remember, this is only in chapter 3 of John's Gospel. This is not after Jesus rose from the dead. It's very early in his ministry that Jesus is having this dialogue with Nicodemus. But ultimately, what he's saying is that you need to have conversion, complete change in your life. It must be something which is lasting and something that comes within. And I think at this time, as we come out of Easter, where we've experienced just how much turmoil Jesus went through and the difficulties that perhaps we might be required to have to encounter, we must allow conversion to happen in our lives. Allow things to happen that will change the direction of what we're doing and bring us closer to God. So have a wonderful day, and we'll chat again tomorrow. God bless. Bye-bye.